Hi, everyone. Dr. Nagula and I just wanted to make a video regarding the anxiety that we are all feeling right now during this pandemic. Our anxiety that we're feeling as a community, as individuals, is completely normal. We are evolutionarily evolved to feel anxiety when our safety is at risk. And this is a situation where precisely that is happening. We are at risk. Our safety is at risk. We're in the middle of a pandemic and there's a lot of unknown. And the reality of the situation is that our anxiety response is a normal response and is actually overall a beneficial response to us as human beings. Our goal with this video is to try to share some strategies for coping with the anxiety that we're all feeling now, and to not be angry at ourselves for feeling it because it's totally normal, but to instead just acknowledge it, accept the anxiety, and figure out ways to cope with it to allow us to continue our lives with as little disruption as possible.
So there is a lot of unknown right now for the present and for the future, and this is a new reality for all of us. We're frequently wondering if we're going to get deployed to a different service. Amidst that uncertainty, we're often trying to balance a full-time clinical workload while trying to juggle home responsibilities. Even distance learning for our kids, if we have any, frequently require a greater level of parental involvement. Childcare is now more difficult, right? We don't have the same resources that we used to rely on when we were working full-time. And even the actual clinical care is different, with everything being done through telehealth rather than in person. So what's important to remember these days? Let's try to maintain a more realistic mindset. Many of us have these lofty goals of being able to do everything, fit in time to exercise, to cook, to organize our home. Let's face it, how realistic is that when we can't even get groceries at home so readily, or when our kids are yelling in the background during an important work meeting? So prioritize those goals that are most important to you.
Yeah. I like what you said about groceries, because that's one of the things that's really impacted me recently is it feels like even something like, cooking or trying to be healthy with what I put into my body is difficult because even the grocery store poses a threat to our safety. We have to wash everything that we get before we're able to bring it into our house. And that in and of itself can be stressful. So I think just acknowledging that is important.
Yeah, so Harper, those difficult emotions that you were talking about, like anger, anxiety, sadness, they are all valid. They're all normal, especially in the setting of so much we can't control and so many expectations that are unrealistic. So what can we do about that? Let's control the things that we can. Recognize that we're not superhuman. This is a crazy time with a completely new reality. Our worlds have essentially been turned upside down. So try to maintain that normalcy that you can. As much fun as it is to sit around in our PJs all day, once in a while, that should probably be the exception. Just like kids, adults also thrive on structure, on routine. So take a shower, get dressed, have meals like you normally would. But perhaps most important, even if you're not someone who goes out every night, chances are you're used to seeing people each day, people outside the house, because you're at work most of the time. So this is a big shift in that routine. Talk about it. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. There's a collective willingness to share when we do. And most often, when we open up to others about the struggles we're facing, others also appreciate that opportunity to discuss their own challenges and have their concerns be normalized, be validated. So remember, this is social distancing, not social isolation. Connect to others at home. If you have kids, encourage them to discuss how they're doing. Connect to your family, your friends virtually. Plan ahead, schedule people in at least a few times a week. Even check in with colleagues when meeting administratively and open up about how you're doing during those times as well. The more we allow ourselves to open up, the better we end up feeling in the long run. And last but definitely not least, when this isn't effective, always keep in mind that there are other resources to turn to.
So one of the things that I think is really important to point out that Dr. Nagula talked about is just that it's important to do activities that keep you grounded. One of the things that I personally have done is I went and visited my mom, but because of social distancing rules, I didn't actually go near her. But we each had food that we wanted to give to the other one. So we stayed fairly far away from each other in a parking lot. Here is my mom's boyfriend, and my mom is in the car, and this little thing here is the soup that I made for her that we kept at a very safe distance. So I thought that was very funny. But seeing my mom and being able to exchange this food for each other and connect, even if we weren't physically close to each other, was a really great way to kind of remain grounded and and see the people and interact with people that are really important to me. I also made a video of another activity that I do that I'll play after this. And then I also wanted to say that a few of our wellness advisors also submitted some activities that they're doing right now through this time to feel grounded, and they shared with us some of the things that are helping them to get through this time. So I just want to play those now. Okay, so one of the things that I really like to do when I'm stressed out or when I'm anxious is play frisbee. And right now, since we can't play frisbee necessarily because of social distancing, I just go out and throw the frisbee around. So.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sharon Edwards.
I'm Siobhan.
And I am very stressed out with the COVID crisis. But I think it's really important for everyone to try and take a couple moments every night to de-stress. So, as you can see, I have my facial mask on. Now you know all my beauty secrets.
So important to try to take a moment for yourself in times of crisis.
So, I'm sending you all big virtual hugs, and I know we'll get through this together, and we'll be all together in one room very soon. So take care and good night. I'll see you soon.
Hi everyone, I'm Meredith Grossman. I'm one of the faculty advisors and a pediatrician. Right now I am here in New York City, separated from my family while I go to work every day. It's been really hard. I am scared and anxious like everybody else. But every day I wake up, I go in, it brings me closer to the end of this craziness. And I am just finding comfort in my loved ones and my colleagues and looking outside at the spring, which has sprung. And what has been most moving to me is how our community has come together to fight this thing. And we are all leaning on each other, and we are all here for each other. We are all scared, but we're going to get through this together.
You know, there's a saying that goes, don't believe everything you think, and I think that that's true. So what I would offer to you today is that you examine your thoughts, learn the difference between what are the neutral circumstances that are occurring and what your thoughts and belief systems actually are. They're not the same thing. So get clear on exactly what you're thinking that's creating your anxiety, and maybe, just maybe, push back a little. So if you've listened this far and you don't think that I've gone off the deep end, reach out if you'd like and we could talk about this some more. And if that doesn't work, as Dr. Katz would say, there's always dancing.
Hello everybody, this is Craig Katz, Dr. Katz from Medical Education and Psychiatry. And I think the one thing that I find the most helpful is actually a quote from a baseball player, from Mickey Rivers, who was a center fielder for the World Series champion New York Yankees in 1978. He was known for lots of quotes, but this is one quote in particular which completely summarizes cognitive behavioral therapy in two sentences, two rather agrammatical sentences, but here they go. Quote, "Ain't no sense worrying about things you got control over, 'cause if you got control over them, ain't no sense worrying. And ain't no sense worrying about things you don't have control over, 'cause if you got control over them, ain't no sense worrying."
Thanks so much for watching our video about anxiety. We have another video coming out soon about CBT principles and how to apply them during this difficult time. So stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, please stay safe and healthy.